So one of such, so you can come under columns here. As you can see, we can go pama rows rather, rows edu, then you highlight all the rows. Then you come here, after highlighting all the rows like that, then you right click here. After right clicking, then you say row height, row height. Then you define the row height depending with the size of the text. You define the row height depending with the size of the text. Usually with me, I always make sure out in the maybe text young is 11 points in the font size is 11 or 12. That's the standard. Nobody talk about report rakanaka. Unless otherwise, maybe with certain headings and header information, you might be required to increase the font like we did with our header. But for the rest of the text, 11 or 12, good size. So with that, inobuda zvakanaka when you add 22 points. It's not a rule or a standard 22 points. It's just what I've discovered. So you can put whatever you want. So if we say 22 and say, okay, as you can see, now the report yedu some breathing space where information yedu yana space between each other. Patanga tine the default size yanga yaka crowder and report yedu kana tika printer rinongo printer the same way. So this is the report. This is the report. Let's go back to home. So that was, so you can still do that here. You can still, if there's, you want, maybe you have got amounts and maybe January, you say under the amounts, maybe the report is saying sales for January, for February, for March, maybe you're comparing months and you want the width size of the columns to be the same, highlight them, right click with the column, then you put the size that you want to make. Just imagine Kuda, you have a report ramaita murukuya manually panapa mova mati panapa momuva apa manually irova ramuva manually chingodai chakunza tane report rine size dzakasiyana. It becomes a very distorted. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't look professional. So to have a standard report, there are certain rows or columns you might want to define their heights or their width. So we do that. So I proceed save. I proceed save. So here we can actually have our report. Since the boxes to another point is we can proceed to have the headings kuti angari defined by giving them borders. So this is where we get our borders under font borders. Then we go to borders. If you want this border rebold to really define, this is a header. This is the headings. Then you continue to have the same. You continue to have the same like this. So my report, as you can see, the report here in the invoice amount, it's actually a little bit crowded, no breathing space. So we open it. Then we can move this to the end if you want, because this is where the information is. Usually numbers are at the end. Then commission 5% is the no breathing space. So I want to open it and move it like this or to the end like this, because this is where the numbers are. Then our information reported is coming. You might also choose to have the borders here. So to do that, you're simply coming under borders as usual. Then you choose the border type you want. You choose the border type you want. So we're having a report like this. Unfortunately, when you do that, it will distort our top border. Then we come here and have the thick border. So we're actually coming up with a very good report, but we're still a little bit far. What if you want to shade? This row, Ravenema height yaro, if I come here, it's 17.25. Whilst here we have got 21.5, it has moved a little bit, it should be 22. So we can't have that. We want to move this one maybe down to 22. We might want maybe even to 23 point something. Then this information is sitting right on the line, which we don't want. So we can actually highlight everything and go back here and actually come to the alignment. And top here, you can center. Then you center upwards. You center down and up, or center left and right from there, right? This is where we are. We have our report is taking shape. What if you choose to have a background color? You can choose to have the actual color like we did here from this color, font color here. The background color yedu iri panapa. Maybe the background color yedu is blue like this. So if it's blue like this, it means we need to change the font color so that the colors don't fight. Ndinombosangana nevanhu vekuti munhu anondipa question answer sheet rake aisa background pa financial model rake, background color yake yakanaka zvakanaka. Kumusoro kunokobva auya otisira futi color, a dark color on top of another color. You don't need to have the colors fight. If you've got a dark color, you rather go for a dark color and a very light color so that report rinomira zvakanaka. Now we can't tell where our lines, our borders are. In this case, we can't tell, but we can still put borders here. How do you do that? You go right up to the borders there. You go down and say line color in the borders. Then you choose the color you want. In this case, because it's a dark background, we might want a very light color. In this case, white is excellent. Black and white is good. So we choose this color. Then we come here and put this color and add these lines, and you draw your lines here. You draw your lines here. There we are. There we are. Then we go save. Then we go save. This is our report. Right, this is our report. Then Mamandinoro, another basic function, freeze and freeze pans. Freeze pans. Freeze pans. Right, freeze pans, it's when you're working with information yakawanda. Let's assume we have got my days, my employees, Zeda, Francis and Timothy, bringing my sales big time almost every day. They are actually signing deals. And hence, the guys in accounts who are doing the commissions, they have got to go down and continuously go down. As we go down, we're losing track of the header and track of the headings, so that when we come here, we can come to a point where we can actually lose track and actually add the company name here. Maybe the company name is called Zimdat Accountants. Now, this is the job. We are doing a job for Zimdat Accountants at our company. And now, because someone anakwenda kundo freeze my pants, if you proceed to go down, you can end up losing it. As you can see, this is the invoice amount, but I've added the information of the invoice amount. I've added the company or the job name instead. To avoid this, we can actually freeze certain sections of our reports when you are dealing with volume of data. So this is called freezing pans. Freezing pans. So you can come here where we want to make sure that all this information on top and all the information on the left, we want to make everything stale and to freeze everything. So you come here and then go to view. This has got to do with the view. Remember, we spoke about it yesterday, how you want to view the document. So you come here and say freeze pans. Then you say freeze. If I freeze pans here, as you can see, I've got these lines going down and this one going vertically. If you go down, even if you continue to go down, this section, we have actually freezed this section. It can't move. If you choose, as you can see, Tipana Patina G, if you continue to go down, we can have every other column goes. Now it's F and we jump to Y, because all the other columns that means were inside here, but A to F, these columns have been frozen. So we are here. We have freeze these columns. So this is freeze pans function. To unfreeze, you simply come here and say unfreeze. Just as simple as that. I want to trust we are still together. Right? What if we have got these numbers? So takuita mova mandinyorera inonzi number formatting. Number formatting. Tine these formatting functions that dziri panapa dzakanzi number. So kana kazhinji much of the work ratinoita muExcel, because tine word kana tiri kuita just text kazhinji tichinyora ma-letters edu ma-documents, we might not need Excel. Usually we want the help of Excel when we are dealing with usually numeric transactions or data, zinema numbers. So because of that, we want to understand how numbers can change to meet the requirements of our reports or workflow yedu. Like we've got an example, mukona number yakanyora panapa. It's not easy to tiverenge this number. Yakanzi 12 nema 00 or this number yakanzi 60. We want to define these numbers. How do we do that? We are supposed to format these numbers by simply highlighting the area in ema numbers at Trikuda. Then either you use this section of the home page, you go there and pick and say, what type of a number are you looking for? Are you looking for a current number? Do you want to change your number into just a general number? The one we have is a general number. Or you want to have maybe an accounting number. You want to have it as a date. You want to have it as a percentage. You want to have it as a fraction. What type of a number is this number? So 90% of the times you realize our numbers are supposed to be accounting numbers. So isusu kana taka kumakawo ma-assignments neweki yenyu, part of my areas amunogona kudonedza ma-points, ma-students mazhinji ozona munhu aita 47%, but ndakandichiziya formula kungoti equals, patichadzidza ma-formulas, equals irrespective of how complicated the formula is. You simply go and say equals. As you can see, this is equals, then you put the formula, just as simple as that. It takes you 20 seconds to insert a formula. Then you simply copy the formula. There's nothing much in having. So if muka create a formula edu, muka oya panapa mukati equals this times 0.05, which is the commission rate. You have got the commission for this guy. Then I simply copy the formula down. I simply copy the formula down. So unanogona kuda ma-marks ake from there, but ma-marks are distributed by looking at the work, because toda kuti kugadzira munhu anoti kana ashanda pa-Excel, the work is gonna present inofana kuoneka kuti yakaitwa neini expect somebody ari kuziva zvaari kuita. It's not all about understanding those other advanced functions that you are keen to know and to use. Excellent, we encourage you to do that. But we also want you to understand certain facts, like, for example, Musa tombounza document renema border, renema line. If you do that, know your 3 or so marks have gone. 3 marks that you end up by virtue of you bring, even if the question doesn't ask for a plain document. We don't use that. That's basic, and we trying to go through Excel yacho. So tofana kuratidza kuti takaidzidza zveshuwa. Right? So to do that, I'm coming back. To know that my numbers edu ange ari ma accounting numbers. So you are supposed to come here, highlight all the numbers zamunazo, and go and say accounting. Mukonot patata accounting yaisa makoma edu to say 1.2 million. Now we can, it's now easy for us to read these numbers. We can actually read and interpret these numbers, unlike a general number. So 1.9, just imagine, brother Kuda, mangondipa your answer sheet, ringorine number yakanzi 1,200, makanzi 60. I can't tell, is this 60 a date? Is this 60 a number? We are accountants, so we need accounting numbers. So this is what we call our numbers, but we don't want the simple. So to remove the simple, the kanamurukita number formatting, you can simply right click here. You come to format, format cells here. It will take you back to the same number formatting, the same we get from here. Number formatting section in the home tab. You come here, then you say, I don't want any number. none, then you remove the, if you happen to go to South Africa or any other country, you want maybe your computer is in American language or UK, you actually can go there and change the font, I mean the simple. If you want the current simple, then you put the rand, the puller, the whatever, right? So defaultly, because our computers are American in most cases, so as a result, if they're American, they give that simple. Mukaona simple inobuda ichimhanya kakawanda isiri dollar, then you can come here to your date and actually change the settings here and move your computer from American maybe to Zimbabwe, then inoba yakupa izim dollar and everything. Ma symbols enyu anoba alignwa to our local symbols, right? So there you are, we have removed that, then tab visa. So we want our numbers like this. So if you are creating, if you are a financial statement or management account, the first rule is, or any other schedule that you're preparing, an asset register, salary, schedule, whatever, name it, or a motor vehicle, whatever, loan amortization, just name it. We want the numbers in accounting simple. Then we have it in accounting simple. But can I mark it my financial statement at the end of the year? Can I have my management account? It's okay. My financial statements at the end of the year, we don't want the sense, materiality concept. The sense doesn't mean anything to us. We simply want to round everything to the nearest dollar. So you don't come here if they were kanapana papanga pane maybe 0.70 cents. Maybe here we have got 0.034. Then we have this. We don't want to round off. All we simply do is to right click and allow it to round off by itself. So that in the memory, if it adds these numbers, the totals will be as a result of factoring in the cents. If you come and remove the 70 cents, remove the 4 cents, then your results will be wrong. So you want to come and format here and say accounting and remove. Let's remove the decimal places. Let's remove the decimal places and say, okay. So as you can see, we've got 1.2 million in the dollar. But now, kuno kwa kwine 60,004 cents, we have removed the 4 cents. Pananga pangapane and 4 cents, as you can see in the formula bar, there's a 4 cents there. Here is actually 1.2 million and 70 cents, but in the report, we want to round off. Right, excellent. I want to trust with two together. We still have some 20 more minutes to finish off this. Right, so that's number formatting. That's number formatting. What if this number, let's have a look at these numbers. Let's maybe have a look at this number. Pana papane ma data. Mushaona patichaita knows my date formulas. You will learn that all these dates are simply numbers. So I don't know whether these are counting numbers, these are days, these are fractions, these are percentages. Let me come here and actually change this into numbers, into general numbers. So I'll simply say general. So these numbers are like this now. Doma date say that. So mukandipa date rakadai ringoro okay, but someone might not be able to use it. But for some reason, we might want our dates like this is still okay. Or you can have, let me maybe change. You can have, let me come here and say, let me take it back so that you understand what I'm trying to do here. Let me take it back to dates. Maybe this is the date format. So we have got our dates like 1 July, 4 July, 7 July, 12 July. Maybe we want to have another date here. We can say equals this date plus 7 days to say the same day in 7 days. Oh, because there is a formula here. Sorry, forgive me. Let me have it here. This one is equal to this plus 7. Okay, so it's remembering. So what I wanted to show you, it's not working, but you see it, but the advanced formulas, Zema date formulas. You see what I was trying to demonstrate here. So pamunoenda mukandopika zvanada kudemonstrata zvakafanira kuti munhu akanzi apinda basa musi wa1 July kana kuti akaita this commission musi wa12 July, but anowana commission at the end of the month. Yet that particular commission, and we are supposed to add, and we continue to have July, August going down. For us to add commission here, Timothy, and be able to tell which date, Rinofana Kupiwa, how much, inofanira kupiwa Timothy at the end of July, musi 31 July, musi 31 August anofanira kupiwa mari. We can have date formulas to determine all that. So patinoisa inobva yaenda kundothrowa or to retain the date in the general museo yatiri kuenda kundocomputer the date ratifanira kupa munhu, the commission yake and the amount. So it will throw it like this. So if it's like this, this becomes 44,378 becomes a simple general number, which we can even change this into an accounting. This one is what we called an accounting. We can change this into an accounting number, but it's a date. You get it? So my numbers, all numeric values should be defined to say what type of a number is this. Or we can choose to change this into a percentage. But it's a number, it's a date. We can change it into anything that we want, but it's a date. Oh, we can even have it in with a comma separator still. But we are saying we are supposed to come and say we want to customize this and actually format the cell and go to the date format. To the date format of a number. As you can see, a date is a number. Then you come and say, which type or which format of a date. Then you come here and say this particular format. Then it will change and give you even the day, the month, the date, and the year. All right. Not only are you able to do that, so there's quite a number of other formats you can take up. Then we come here, we can actually have date, time format, percentage format, fraction format, and all that. Tichienda takadaro. I want to trust you are still here. So report redu, it's coming up. Let's assume now we want to add these commissions. Let's sum up these commissions. And like we know, the font size here do very fast, everything like that. Then we now know how to put the headers and add the size. Then we have everything like that. Forgive me, I don't know why it's now clicker Apple. What is the story here? What have I done? All right. Murukona zvandaita pandandoisa lines angu white aya. So all the borders have been turned into white. So I'm trying to put a border here. So mukaona mambochinja color ema borders. You are supposed to come back here under the color ema borders. Sorry, here. And actually come here and take the border colors back to black or any other color that you want. So if I take it back to black like this, then I am okay. The color here, then I can add, then we are good like this. As you can see now, I can underline and do all this. All right, this is our report. Right now, we have got these totals, but I want to copy this information or this figure, copying and pasting in Excel. Copying and pasting in Excel. When you're copying text, it's simple. You can simply copy and just paste like this. Is as simple as that. But when you are copying numbers, you need to be careful. The copying function here, let's copy all this and say copy. If we copy this, we come here. Copying is by simply highlighting the range you want to copy, right click, and you say copy. You can use even the tabs to do that, but right clicking is one of the best ways to deal with Excel. So right click and click copy. Then you come here where you want to place that data. Then you can just enter. You can just throw enter. You can just throw enter. If I say enter, then I will lose some of the data because there are formulas there. So what Excel has done is has simply copied my formula yangu. Yakopa everything, including the formula, then I can't have the numbers I'm looking for. Which is different if it were this, if it was this particular column. If I simply say enter, I'm pressing my enter on the keyboard, then I can actually copy and paste the data. So if you are copying numbers that have formulas, be very careful. especially with the volume of data and financial modeling. You need to be careful because you're not going to lose information, then it breaks the whole financial model. So you come here and say copy. Then you come here. Then you right click. Then pasting options. There are a number of pasting options here. If I paste this one, then this one is a complete paste. It takes almost everything. The font color, the font size, the borders, everything, the formulas, it takes everything, which is different from this one. As you can see, Pandango mover from this one, it would throw a 0. It would throw my value Z that my 0. As you can see there, Panama to set, meaning to say that it's pasting 0. If I come here, now I have 1, 2, 3, because all that I'm pasting my values only. I'm just pasting the values only. If you come here, this is the formula. As you can see in the formula bar on top there, this is the formula simple. So all I am copying are the formulas only. So there are times when you want to copy everything. There are times when you want to copy only the values. There are times when you want to copy only the formula. You are copying formula, Chete. You don't want the number. So as you can see, tika copy formula 2, but I want 0, because if we say if you say G7 times 0.05, we get a 0. So we are going to use maybe this one. In this case, if you want the numbers only, then we have it. So with this one, even if you change this to 50,000, or if you change this into 0, the total doesn't change, but which is different from this one. If we copy the formula, you copy everything, including the formula. If you come here, I paste everything. Then you realize we retain everything. Then after doing that, you can go enter here. Then tikando chinja panapa, tikat 500,000. Then the formula begins to work. If you come here and say 20,000, then the formula begins to work like this. So we can copy, but we need to be careful on how to paste. You look for the pasting options. Then another point on your notes, besides copying. So there's a difference between copying and cutting. If you come here and cut, and we choose to cut. If I say cut, cutting is moving everything from that particular range to another range. That's cutting. Copying is simply replicating. That's the difference. Right. What if we want to move this without copying and all that? We want to move this number. We can use what we call drag and drop. Drag and drop. Drag and drop. So, your Roman notes are instead of cutting and copying and pasting, you can drag and drop cells to move their contents. Right? How do we do this? I want to move this formula. So what I'm moving is a formula from there. So I will actually move my mouse down until we are at this particular sign. Then I left click. Then I move this to where I want it. Maybe I want to compare values of different ranges. So I want to closely compare the commission for this particular range and the commission for this particular range. Maybe there's also another listing there. I want to move it here and have the commission. When I change the commission for this particular month and say maybe the commission here it has changed to 1,200, then this will change. If I change this to 1 million, this will change. So because I've moved this to there so that I can easily maybe do some statistical computations and or comparison here easily. What is the total? Equals to sum of these two. The total commission for all the periods, sum equals to sum of these two. Maybe there are 3 or 4 months that I've put closely. Though the data is here, the raw data is here, but I've actually moved everything here. So I can come and say equals this. Now I can add my formula now equals this divided by this. And I want this number in percentage. Then I come to percentage here. Then it's 15%. And I can actually copy this formula and paste this formula here. Then, okay, sorry, equals to this divided by this, and I want it as a percentage. So this one constitutes 87% of the total. This one constitutes 85%. I don't know, it was supposed to add to 100%. I don't know why it's adding to 200%. Interesting. But anyway, we can actually begin to analyze. If you want to create a graph, it becomes easy to simply move these numbers and create a graph and look at the trend of certain numbers. So that's dragging and dropping. Right, let's move fast as we look towards closing our lecture. So page manje, you are going to allow me to log out in 8 minutes. You are going to allow me to come back maybe and wind up my lecture in 5 minutes. You're going to allow me to come back and to wind up my lecture in 5 minutes. All right, so that's that. Deleting data in a worksheet. How do we delete data in a worksheet? To delete data in a worksheet, we simply go, like if there are text values, you simply go there, right click and say clear. No, usually that one is not the common one. We simply go there and punch the space bar. You have deleted the information, just as simple as that. You've just deleted the information, just as simple as that. So if you don't want that, you can take it back by, right? But when you are dealing with numbers, you need to be careful. Don't come here and simply go, sorry, not that one, undo. Don't just come here and hit your space bar like this. This is a simple formula. A summation formula. It's a very simple formula. So as a result, we can still have the value compute zvakanaka panapa. But when as patichatanga kudzidza advanced formulas in Excel, you find out there are certain formulas. Pataenda panapa tikangondo hit our space bar, or we right click and say delete panapa. Even this delete will delete the cell, right? If we come here and hit our space bar or backspace or whatever, or delete key on our keyboard, when we do that, panema values are not sarachuverengwa panapa, which will then result in this formula break, yobaya throw an error. So don't do that when you are deleting numbers. The best way to delete numbers is to right click. You can take this down. Is to right click the section you want, or the number, or the section you want, or the range you want to delete. You right click like this. This is the purpose of this command. You clear the contents. If you clear the contents, you don't leave any audit trail of any values at the background of the cell or of the task of the formula bar. Where then it means the formulas they will be affected. So the best way to delete information is to highlight the area, right click and clear contents. Right. Then another point is comments in Excel. When you are dealing with data rakawanda and you are working with others, where maybe you are required to submit a report in Excel, and that particular report should actually interpret itself. Like a good example, we put my notes to financial reports, which we call notes to the financial statements, to try and tell the user or the reader of that particular financial report what this number 48,150 represents, or what it means. So to do that, you can also add notes and comments to numbers or to any information you've entered in Excel. To add comments so that you tell us, what does this number represent? Maybe there's certain information you want to tell us about. So to do that, you are going to come here in the cell, you right click. We said much of the basic functions you might want in Excel, you get them by highlighting the cell or the range and the right click. That way you get the information or the commands right commands you're looking for. So you right click here, then you go to insert command. This is very important. We are not simply learning all this stuff just for the sake of examinations. No, not at all. Ndina pa panel iri mclass imomo ndine one of the guys is from kumusha kwangu, ndi homi wangu. Brother, is it brother Timothy? Yeah, brother Timothy. Homi, hatidaro kunozwi kwedu kuma Nikaland kwedu. Isu kana togadzira report kwa risape tino make sure utagadzira report comprehensively, presentable enough and no communicator information. Because it's useless to simply type information like mwana form 4 toto printer toendesa kuno submitter then to vatati isusu no this after all these guys, they've actually hired you. Ma-interviews yakawanda mazuano, they are looking for QuickBooks, Pastel, Evolution. They are also looking for Excel skills because superiors are fed up with vanouya claiming wakaenda kuchikoro, but they can't produce a simple report. Very simple report rakanaka rinoti kana munhu akariona rinotaura something, it begins to communicate what is required of it. So trikuti all this is required. So I can come here and say to be paid in August, maybe this sale payakaitwa na Francis pakaitwa ma-terms 30 days where the money maybe chatozouya muna August, so we can't pay the commission until we have received the money from the accounts receivable. So to do that, I want to tell anyone achaona this report that don't pay this amount. So this red corner suggests there is a comment. Now I've added notes to my report. So when you're creating management accounts, you might choose not to maybe add a section where you put notes, but by adding comments, you have actually added certain notes to the management report. So to do that, you're coming here. So you can actually right click here and actually say show or hide the report. So if you say show, then this becomes, it will be freeze there. Then maybe you are emphasizing kuti munhu asatombo kanganwe. But if it's just a note that's not, you see it that serious and you don't want to emphasize anything, you can simply come here and hide the report, the note, where each time if I take my mouse there, I can tell. Each time you see this corner, it means someone is telling you something. If you see a red corner on the top, it means someone is telling you something. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm left with about 1 or 2 points, then we are done for the day. I'm left with a few points, we are done for the day. Excellent, excellent. Right. What if tirimu class or tirikubasa ikoko tuda kulista vanhu ava based on the highest sale or highest commission? We want to list by the commission. To do this, we use what we call the sort format. Sort format. So if you're taking notes, you can say sort format. We want to sort by maybe the alphabetical order of the sales rep names. We might want to sort by date. We want to sort our data by the job, by the alphabetical order of the job, and we want Zimbabwe Defense Forces to go